So this is all in contrast to the current education processes and principles where abstract is more important than the specific, and which is very different from indigenous principles, and which are the basis for the discrimination and the disadvantaging of indigenous knowledge systems. So also, technology, sorry, one moment, I just lost track, the other thing is that technology is very patriarchal and further disadvantages especially the female bodies of indigenous knowledge. So when we move indigenous knowledge into the general framework, we find that it's not only disadvantaged by being indigenous, it's also disadvantaged by a sort of subtext of patriarchy that runs through the entire systems and the modes of transmitting and preserving knowledge and information, which is basically, very patriarchal in itself. Okay. So these are some key development issues today. I think we all know what they are, so I won't go through them in detail. And these are the skills that are needed, the conservation of natural resources, the restoration of these low energy, low pollution societies, how to cope with natural events, and how to solve conflict situations. And these are traditionally the purview of indigenous women in almost all indigenous societies, if I'm not mistaken. There are some examples which I'm sure, I believe that there are papers which you can refer to for further information on this, and you can of course always ask me. The main problem that we face, as I think has been said by my friends here and my sisters, that neither government nor non-government efforts support the preservation and development of indigenous knowledge, particularly not gendered indigenous knowledge systems. That means they don't want to know that they have to support men's knowledge separately and women's knowledge separately. And this is a real problem for us, because then we have to start pretending that it doesn't exist if we want to get funding, which rather sort of, defeats the whole purpose of getting the funding in the first place then, isn't it? And I will end with this question: why is there this difficulty in accessing support, whether it's money, whether it's skills, whether it's materials, whether it is moral support? Are in this current cultural paradigm, which is very, unicultural and seeks to become more so, what is so threatening about the alternatives that are posited by indigenous cultures? Why is everybody so wary about it? I think if we can answer that question, we might be able to solve some of the problems, because we need to change this. It challenges the standardized notions of gender and the standardized notions of power and hierarchies. And we need to change this not just for the sake of indigenous cultures and heritage, we need to change this today for the survival of the world. And with that, I will thank you very much for your patience, and the moderator especially for her patience. Kuramjali, on behalf of my people in Manipur, I thank you for your attention.